It's 4 o'clock in Los Angeles. It's 6 o'clock in Dallas, Texas. And it's 7 p.m. in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Hello, everybody. I am Mad Dog Scipio, and this is America's Podcast. What's the buzz? I tried to get rid of her, folks. I tried to get a new co-host for you. I swear you, I tried. I don't know. She's putting some kind of Hispanic juju on people, keeping them away. Amelia the Pitbull Chapman is back. It looks like she's here for the long haul. So I tried to run away from you, but you just won't let me go. Amelia is going to be your permanent co-host, folks. I tried, folks. She's back. She's back. Oh, man. Speaking of back, I haven't seen Rosie and Leon.
They just chimed in, actually.
That's funny. I just said their names, and here they are.
I don't know if it's a good thing you called me that.
Leon. Well, you know what? Leon's by himself. I think maybe, that Rosie maybe's out of the picture. I don't know. How you doing, brother?
He called me a
I got a friend request. My first friend request from Leon. Yep. First one. Good guy. Leon's a good guy. Yeah. I gave him a phone. I wonder if he still has that phone I gave him. We have an interesting show for you tonight. We have a producer, a film producer on tonight that was, believe it or not, she was a supermodel.
Leon.
Yeah, her name is Andrea Leonelli, and she is a producer of a new film that's getting quite a little buzz, to say that word. In fact, I think she's texting me right now. I'm not kidding. You don't need a code. Is she all right? She is looking for a code. What code? Andrea. Amelia, talk to everybody for a moment.
Sure. Leon, you said that your phone died. Did it not come with the charger, or is Rosie doing okay? I see that you said that she's in the ICU. I hope she's doing okay. But as we're waiting for the host to come on, I just want to let everybody know that I'm doing okay, taking it day by day. Everybody, thank you for your best wishes. And it just takes day by day, like you said. And I thank Angelo and I thank Anita for everything, their thoughts and prayers, everybody else for your thoughts and prayers, and family in Texas. And I want to wish my son-in-law's mom some wishes as well. She just lost her mom as well right before Mother's Day, so I'm sending my condolences out to her as well. So I'm hoping that she's going to be okay, and I know she will. She's a strong lady, just like we all are, all girls.
Okay, let's see if she can do this. I sent her everything she needs. I don't understand. I sent her a link. Okay, this is what angers me, folks. I sent this guest, and she'll be here. She gets in, but I don't give a shit at this point. I don't really care. I sent her a link 2 weeks ago. Don't lose the link. Don't lose the link. Don't lose the link. Okay, what happens?
She lost the link.
She lost the link. Here she is. There she is.
Oh, there she is.
There you go. Don't you go flipping your shit around on me, Andrea.
I
was just telling everybody how I was going to pound your head when you got here.
I'm going to tell you, this is why I'm successful and you're successful, is because we just keep pushing buttons and keep doing it until we get it out.
It's all about buttons. Remember that. Remember that. Let me introduce you to everyone.
Keep pushing those buttons.
Our guest tonight is a former supermodel. We say former because in this room, in this world, in this generation, I am the only supermodel in What's the Buzz. Okay, so she's maybe a supermodel in her world, but baby, this is Big Daddy's world now. Okay. Andrea Leonelli is a film producer. She's got a hell of a movie out called Healing Towers, and we're going to talk a lot about that tonight. And you are going to get to know the troubled past and triumphant present and future of Andrea Leonelli. She is a proud mama of a beautiful, successful, talented young lady, gorgeous daughter. You should be very proud of her because she's pretty amazing. Um, this woman Andrea is she's a living testimony to never say never, never give up, never quit. Put your big girl pants on and move forward. She's got all the bases covered in that regard. We're going to talk about a woman who shouldn't be here by all accounts, and that conversation will happen in the second half of the show. But she's going to be here for about 2 hours with us, so at least 90 minutes anyway. So I hope you got enough stories to fill a couple of hours, baby.
Yeah. Okay. I've been told I talk a bit. Yeah.
Good.
And it sounds like you have no trouble talking either. So I think.
No, I have no trouble. Believe me when I tell you, I have no trouble.
Who's the young? I wasn't. I didn't know who she was.
My name's Amelia. How are you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I have to introduce everyone. I'm so sorry. Forgive me. This is Amelia the Pitbull Chapman. She is my co-host.
Yes.
Let me introduce you, Amelia, officially, Andrea Leonelli.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
Hello.
We got hooked up through Steve Joyner. The gentleman, Steve Joyner, Eddie Deasen's manager, good guy. I haven't heard from him in a while, but I think we had a little falling out. If you're listening, Steve, I'm ready to kiss and make up it. But Andre is here to promote not only the film, but to kind of, talk to Dr. Angelo here and, lay on the couch and unwind to me. So what are you looking? She's looking at me with that face like.
Yeah, like what should I start first?
Let me tell you something. I'm the best therapy in the world. A, I'm cheap. B, I'm real good at listening. And if you get too long-winded, I'll just cut you right the hell off and talk over you.
Okay.
Let's talk. First of all, thanks for joining us and put up with my craziness. You are a success story in a lot of regards. How did you find your way? We're going to work backwards here. We're going to work from where you are now, and we're going to go back. How did you find your way into being the producer of what is getting quite a little bit of buzz these days, Healing Towers?
Okay. All right. I like that. Before COVID, I was still doing on-camera journalism, and there still was, people were still trying to talk about the truth and things and about homelessness. And there was a big women's march down in LA. They do it every year, and Seal was singing, and it's about women's rights and just, again, what's going on in LA. And since COVID, it's kind of stopped. But I met some people there that were also interested in the human rights and homeless issue in LA that definitely escalated during COVID again. And it's gotten only worse. The treatment, it's not that it's anybody's fault. The system is decayed. It's imploding on itself, and there's just not enough really basic recovery that's going on that can even be supervised. And we started off by wanting to do something about the issue. And I could name a lot of the cities and county and 501Cs that are definitely doing some things, but I think a lot of people just don't even know what to do anymore. But one of the things we realized is, like, you can't take a homeless person and stick them in an apartment and call them, oh, we're housing them. Well, you stick somebody that has mental health issues, and I don't even believe that we should even use the word homelessness anymore. I really think a lot of these people left on the streets, if they didn't start off being mentally challenged, they are now. It's not a way. And you stick them in we house them, and which is actually isolating them, and they become even more exacerbated, whatever issue they have, whether it's hallucinations or whatever,
Yeah.
they become even bigger and bigger. And I mean,
Right.
we actually know that they were like throwing knives into the ceiling because they're isolated. And it's amazing how simple, I really truly believe, stepping back into recovery and that I will say I'm 40 years sober. And
God bless.
thank you. And I really truly believe that there's basic community things that need to be done, you know, between just getting them cleaned and getting them fed and getting them to participate in the recovery. But throwing psych meds at people is not the only answer. I'm not going to say I'm for or against it, but
Yeah.
I try to stay out of the right and wrong business.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
yeah, but I really think that if we aren't trying to get them off of the meds and get them integrated into one, just even cleansing themselves, you know.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I know I'm going the long way about how, but I mean, so we were seeing all these issues down, and I was working with 501Cs in Skid Row and that, and we were seeing issues that really weren't the answers. And of course, we wanted to make a documentary, and then we came across this building that somebody was at in Lower Los Angeles. It was a cool old building. It's in the movie with the rickety old wooden staircase. It's really, really cool. And the writers started getting this idea of how we could bring to attention the homeless issue in this, in especially LA, New York. But I mean, we seem to, you know, we try to at least have tried to at least acknowledge that it's here. And by taking all of these components, the movie is really interesting, but people don't realize that it's definitely sensationalized, but it has a lot of truth to it.
Yeah.
And that's what we wanted to kind of say is that I really want to keep doing this and keep saying, hey, you know, we can't just ignore
Yeah.
because it hasn't evolved our taking care of homeless.
I have a question for you, Andrea. Do you know Susie Singer Carter?
No.
I'm going to introduce you to Susie Singer Carter. The two of you have a lot in common. She actually was on the show a couple months back. She too has a film out called No Country for Old People.
Okay.
Not to be confused with No Country for Old Men.
Yeah.
This is called No Country for Old People, where
Right.
she documents a lot of the issues you're talking about and what led her, much like what led you, is a personal story. Her mother was the victim of, you know, bad medicine in a senior home.
Yes.
And a lot of people from senior homes ends up on the street.
Yes.
Again, another situation of overcrowding. What do we do with these people? Well, they're people. They're disposable. Old people are disposable. Throw them to the street, you know. Let somebody else deal with them.
Right.
And that's the problem with homelessness. You know,
I think the statistic of people over 50 is the majority of homeless people.
Yes, it is.
oh, not only the majority of people over 50, but I'll extend that. A large number of people who remain homeless choose to be homeless because it becomes their comfort zone. We've done shows on this. It becomes their comfort zone. They become comfortable with the street. They make friends on the street. There's certain places they sleep, certain places they go to chill. It's like a society, Andrea, within itself.
Well, we know that a lot of these huge homeless shelters that they were doing years ago were awful. Women were being raped in there. People were robbed.
They're horrible. They're
Yeah.
horrible.
So then they started doing these ADUs and these renovating these um, condemned hotels downtown.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea, not a bad idea. But if you see the way they're maintained, the leaks and the wiring, they should,
Yeah.
they're so bad. They
Yeah.
should have been condemned. And they
Well, you know what you're telling me is old news to us here. Again, we've done this repeatedly, and one of the problems is, again, a great idea to take an old hotel,
Yes.
house the homeless. But here's the problem: if you're going to do that, that old hotel can't stay old long. It's got to be updated. It's got to be renovated, brought up to code. You've got to have all these I's dotted and T's crossed. And you got to do something that people aren't willing to do. You got to spend some fucking money. Spend some money.
Well, just so you know, I mean, I was just to insert, I was a CFO for many years between the modeling and the film producing, which, all have been great assets to learn. But, 501Cs, most 501Cs have to put their tax returns online. And because I do so much with finance, I look it up, and it's amazing. I'm going to just say it, how much the officers are getting paid, the executives are getting paid, how much money they have in the reserves. And if I can find it in 5 minutes, it's like, it's not a secret.
No.
Some organizations have $2 million in reserves. And
few people realize that it's required by law to post a 501c is required by law in order to maintain 501c status.
Right.
They have to be completely publicly transparent.
Right. Yeah.
And if they fail to do so in any shape, form, or regard, that 501c status gets pulled.
Yes.
Right.
Go ahead, Andrea.
Right. I think, I mean, I know that when I want to get involved with an organization, a 501c, the first thing I do is I look them up I will look up their tax returns, and I see where they're spending their money and what they're paying their executives. And, and I think it's like, it's right there, but why don't we say, hey, listen, 501Cs, there should be a cap on executive salaries. There should only be, there's got to be, more inspections done. These places just can't be run down.
Yeah. Andrea, I want to talk a little bit. We got to get this film in here because, I mean, I don't want to, you're here obviously to talk about the film. We are going to talk, more of your pet projects, but we've got to get this film in here. One of the things, we have a guy in the chat, Leon Barfield. Leon says, I've been in rooming houses and sometimes the shelter is better and safer. Your thoughts on where, if somebody is going to be homeless, and I'm going to put you on the spot, is there a recommended way to be homeless? Is it, do you go to the shelter? Do you go to, underneath the bridge trestle, or do you go sleep in the alley or in a dumpster? What's the, I'm trying to get you to try to commit to the safest way to try to protect oneself if you're going to be homeless.
Okay, there's it's just like with women, there's safety in numbers. So if you're alone, you're going to be picked off. And I truly believe that there's enough organizations. The Mission downtown in downtown Los Angeles actually has a pretty good program. And I mean, the kids there, guys there, they have to have a job. And the Mission actually keeps track of their money and gets them on track. They need supervision.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I'm not talking about just checking in. I mean, Santa Monica, I mean, even during COVID, after the fire, I was displaced. I'm up in the burn zone. And
right.
I was in Santa Monica, and I mean, very nice people. I mean, lots of homeless people, but they've already understood how to work the system. They get their CalFresh cards and they're going through Target and they know how to get through the system. And I go,
sure.
That's okay. I mean, we do that, but I mean,
Mhm.
we need to get them where they're actually connecting to civilization, not living in this little bubble that we're just almost like just dismissing them, saying, okay, here's your Cal card, check in with this, go to this clinic, do this, okay, check, check, check. That's not making them have anything to do with society. They're
Right.
not, we need to get them to say, okay, we're going to be back into society. We're going to be
Right.
in with people. But I think they do have their own little enclave, but what else are we going to do with them? Just keep handing them CalFresh cards? We're just going to.
Well, no, the problem here's the issue. California certainly has a problem. They have a monumental issue at hand.
Yeah,
And it's one of the country's worst homeless situations, particularly the northern part of the state, San Francisco, Sacramento. Big problems in Sacramento. The state capital, Sacramento, as I understand,
right, right.
and some of the most egregious homelessness occurs in the state's capital, as it does here in New Jersey. Trenton, New Jersey, is a mecca for homelessness. It's just a mecca. But the problem nationwide is, and you put your finger on it a bit here, is funding. Do you just keep handing them, here's a card, till it runs out? Well, they're good for what, like 30 days, I think, as what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, they're good for 30 days. Well, what are you going to do? Like every 30 days, that's money, good money spent after bad. At
Well,
some point, something's got to give.
well, I mean, but that's such a minimal. That's like just throwing a bone at them.
Yeah,
That's
Well,
not,
that's the point I just made. But the question I ask in that is, what do you do?
well, you can't
What's
just,
the answer?
but
We know you're not going to just keep throwing, good money after bad.
no, it's not about
Somebody
money.
at some
Everybody,
place has to
somebody,
come up with
no,
something.
it's not about money. I mean, I have part of
Oh,
my,
don't kid yourself. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa! Back up, back up.
I'm
Because
sorry.
if you want to go, it's not about money. Oh no. Au contraire, lady. I got news for you. It's all about fucking money. It's
Well,
all about money.
well, money doesn't buy love. Okay.
Why don't
And
we let's get into talking about healing towers? Amelia, I got I'll hop in there and jump in with Andrea. Questions for Andrea regarding this California's homelessness.
Well, I mean, I think that, instead of like you were talking about, now, instead of giving them money monthly, I think that they should maybe get involved in maybe teaching them a skill and try get them a job instead of giving them a free money all the time. I think, to me, that way they can start earning money instead of giving them free money. To me.
That's it. And I'm just going to chime in here for just a half a second,
Yeah.
Andrea, and forgive me for
Yeah.
interrupting.
no,
That's what they do here in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York, and Florida now does it.
That's what they're starting to do here in Florida. Yes.
Yeah.
Instead of giving
What
them the
they
money.
do is if
Mhm.
if you are going to take money from the state
You have to get a
in
job.
any capacity, whether you're homeless or not,
Hmm.
homeless people, what they do is they get a check from the state, but here's what they do. You've got to work. You got to
Yes.
clean the roads. You got to help with put the railroad ties back on the tracks and stuff like you got to earn your keep.
Some kind of vocational job
Yeah.
of some sort. Yeah, you have to
So,
report.
and I think it's a great idea because not only are people getting off of the streets that way,
Mhm.
but they got a sense of pride. It's like, hey, look what I did today. I got some money in my pocket, like real cash in my pocket,
well, and
and not a cow card,
and you like you're a psychology, so you get self-esteem by doing esteemable acts.
Mhm.
If you're just sitting around or walking around the streets, that's not going to build any kind of self-esteem. But
No.
no. So,
And they made
But if
panhandling
you're out,
illegal.
if you're walking the streets and you're actually accomplishing something while you're doing that,
Hmm.
yeah,
it makes all the difference in the world. You're talking about somebody taking the pride. But a lot of people end up homeless for a couple of specific reasons. Family situations are always number one. A family member, a family circumstance, something happened, that person wants out, they go. They disappear from the family. They
yeah.
end up on the street. I got a classic example for you too. And you're gonna love this one because I had the guy on the show. Jerry Lewis's manager, the comedian Jerry Lewis, his manager is a dear friend of mine. His name's Rick Sapphire.
Hmm.
Jerry Lewis's daughter is homeless in Philadelphia. She lives on the streets. Susan Lewis. I'm not Amelia.
No, he's not kidding.
I'm
He's
making a
telling the
word of
truth.
this up.
Wow.
She's homeless, and her father left her nada,
Nothing.
nothing.
Zero money.
He left his children nothing out of $140 million fortune. Left his kids nada.
Wow.
Okay. And his daughter has been homeless. She's 74 years old, and she's been homeless for almost 40 years.
What's her mental state?
She seems to sing and dance and entertain people, and that's how she's making a living on the street.
Hmm.
She's doing the Jerry Lewis typewriter routine and all his pantomimes to music. She's got a little radio, and you got to see her. She's very, she's clever. She's making a living, but she doesn't want to live anywhere but the street. That's her. She feels like that's her identity. I'm not
That's her
Jerry
safe
Lewis's.
place.
I'm not Jerry Lewis's daughter. I'm Susan.
Mhm.
And that's where she had to find herself, on the street.
Mhm.
Now, other people remain on the street for a variety of reasons. The biggest, though, is either something happened at home or there was a circumstances work related is the number two. Three things that we found out in doing our homeless show: family, work, and the third is, and it's a touchy subject we're going to get into with you later on, sexual abuse
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
is a big one that pushes people out of the house.
Yeah.
Okay. But 99.9% of homelessness emanates from the home setting.
Yeah.
And that is home, work, family.
Yeah.
And because they're all inextricably connected. You know that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, our one of our first characters in the movie is on the streets because of his situation from his mother. Yeah. So,
Okay.
So,
Well, let's talk about this. Let me tell everybody a little bit about Healing Towers. Premiered on Amazon Prime on April 22nd and selected streams across the country. Andrea Leonelli is a former supermodel and current producer of Healing Towers, which premiered on Prime, like I said, on August 22nd. Now, why did they? I'm sorry, April 22nd. Did I just say August?
August,
I've
yes.
got vacation on my mind right now,
I
Andrea.
know, right?
I'm looking at my vacation calendar. Talk to me a little bit about one of the. I want to go here. Let me just go this. Talk to me about your involvement. What was it that led you specifically to this project here?
well, like I was saying, it kept evolving. We were going to do a documentary. We'll go back to that. A documentary, and we realized that it started evolving into, the writer started doing more of a feature, and it started evolving, and the characters started evolving from people we had known in working in the homeless industry, I guess.
Right.
So, these were characters that we had worked with and had seen use that they'd been involved in. And so it's a little bit of that. I mean, and I don't know, a lot of people don't realize that Ashley in the movie is, she's transgender. And that was a big issue of why, she ended up at Healing Towers, again, another abuse from, she was abused by the Catholic Church in the movie.
Yeah.
So there's, but, like you said, I mean, when the trying to bring it to light is really, and there, like you said, there's other people that are trying to bring this
Yeah.
epidemic to light, and I think
What I've noticed in watching the film, because I saw it a couple times, I always watch a film 2 or 3 times because I'm one of those people that I will invariably miss something the first time I watch it. So I'll go back 2 or 3 times to pick up the little nuances that are so important in a film.
Okay.
It seems to me, and this is just my take on it, it seems to me like a kind of an odd way to go to highlight social issues, but you certainly did highlight some important social issues: transgender, homelessness, medical chicanery. Let's use that word.
Yeah.
If not, all in all, medical malpractice. It's unscrupulous doctors. Certainly a big social taboo these days. Again, it's like anything else in 2025. You don't know who or what to believe. You don't know what's real. You don't know what's an illusion. The illusion seems real and reality seems like a game. But this film follows the main character is Detective Joe Coolidge, and Detective Joe is searching for his daughter, right?
Right.
So, and they follow the story of this detective who is trying to locate his kid. One thing leads to another, and he ends up with Dr. Healing. By the way, folks, the doctor's name is Healing, and I thought to myself, what a twist of irony that fucking is. Jesus, Dr. Healing. So why did you? I gotta ask you this. I got you here. I have to ask you. Of all the names you could have chose, why Dr. Healing?
It's Dr. Healer, but that's okay.
Dr. Healer. Okay, yeah, there you go.
It is. It's definitely a play on words. That's exactly all it is. It's just a real play on words. And we didn't intend for the movie to be quite as gory as it ended up.
It's fucking graphic. I got news for you.
There was a couple scenes in there that got a little. They definitely sometimes you don't know until you get to the editing how it's really going to play out and how it's really going to work. And this
true.
really seemed to work the best, for everything that we got in the can. I mean, this was definitely. I would definitely say, I was really proud of us all. We got done on time and on budget. And so there's probably a few other scenes that we would have done that weren't as sensational as the scenes that were in there. But
right.
We had to, cut the shot because we just didn't have enough time or, and so it's, sometimes you got to remember what you're trying to get done. So it's still, that's why I said you when you're working on independent films, there's a budget, and you've got to stay within that budget. And having business background, we knew we had to also do that. So there's a kind of a balance there where you go. I think for our first attempt. And for the budget that we did it for, if I would have had another $10 million, the movie would have been a whole lot different.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure.
Yeah.
What was the budget? Interestingly,
I think we ended up at about, we're still, it still goes on. People don't understand that. Yeah, but I think we're at about 350 now.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, and that. Actually, it's funny because I have a friend in Italy that is in film school over there, and they're watching the movie. I sent them some clips so they could watch it, and they're like, "Oh my God!" And I said, And they realize that even the teachers in the film school are saying, if you don't money for marketing, and I'm like,
Yeah.
and
One of the things that I liked about the film, there was a couple of things I didn't like. There was a lot of it I didn't like. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to be very candid with you.
okay,
Some stuff I liked immensely, but about 75% of it I didn't care for it. I'd seen it already. I've been there, done that. It's old stuff that's been replayed over and over in every horror genre and every thriller, and it's just it's a formula that filmmakers use. Whether they intend to do it intentionally, is a matter of perception and a matter of choice. But I notice it because I'm a film file. I watch. This is what I do.
yeah,
Again, I was candid with you at first. I told you, I saw it. I didn't. Not my cup of tea. But there were some elements I really enjoyed. I liked the fact that there were some twists and turns when I didn't expect twists and turns. It was a bit gorier than I expected it to be. That was a nice little shocker. That was a surprise for me. It had more of a horror element in certain spots that I really liked because I'm a horror guy.
yeah.
I do like suspense.
Mm-hmm.
And I do like the reality versus fantasy element. That's great.
Yeah.
But a lot of it was like just rehashed old stuff that somebody mushed together.
I don't think I haven't seen anywhere where somebody has really tried to make these dreams. And them acting out, and the doctor having these poor homeless people act out their nightmares and their dreams, on innocent social workers is just, I've never seen it done before. And and I think the whole, betrayal. It's like the betrayal of our social system. It's so dualistic and back and forth where it's like, wait a minute, are the homeless people the victim? Are the social workers the victim? And is there a victim? Are we just a product of this
Right.
Inclusive, demise of just the system, the broken system? And it's just a broken system from every angle. And that's
sure is, yeah.
And that's why I said it's like, who ends up being the hero? And then, you see, he's interviewing the woman that he's interviewing is actually a success story. It just keeps going. It's like, wait a minute, are we going to get her backstory maybe in a sequence, or are we going to get it's like, where did she come from? What was her backstory? Did this treatment really work on people? And then we've got him at the end. He's on the phone, and then we're talking to another success story, and we don't know who that is, but we're like going, holy camoli, is this guy, this doctor healer, does he really have success stories out there?
Mm-hmm.
Really be happening? But yet we get to see inside the clinic.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's take a look at the trailer, Andrea. Amelia, I want you to I know you saw the trailer, Amelia. I want you to take another look at this trailer.
Okay.
I want you to, because when we're finished with the trailer, as soon as it's over, you and Andrea are going to have a conversation.
Okay.
Sit back. Here's the Healing Towers, folks. Here's the official trailer from Andrea Leonelli.
I'm sorry. Please don't hurt me.
Are you ready to heal?
I look after the most underrepresented patients.
Moving here, I feel very safe.
You are in a safe zone.
These are all the men and women who have gone missing in the last decade.
I'm not going anywhere until I find my daughter. This could be life and death.
It's funny. I remember living in Healing Towers, but I don't remember anything about my treatment.
The medicine that I gave you makes you dream. The line between
dreams and reality gets blurrier as the therapy intensifies.
You are in a dream, and you can do whatever you want.
I can do whatever I want?
Yes, that is the therapy. This dream will heal you. You must hurt her like she hurt you. Do what you want to her. Get even!
This is my daughter's.
Where is she? Where's Casey?
You're sick!
Nope. I'm not. I'm a healer. This is how we bring peace to troubled minds.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Interesting
so
little clip
cool.
here. Okay, now,
Oh.
Amelia,
Yes.
I'm going to let you have this one, okay? Because I got some questions for Andrea. Well, go ahead. You go first.
It is so intense. It's a movie that I would love to watch. It's like he goes after like missing people. That's what he is like. That's his goal, isn't it? Like he just looks after the.
No, actually, you got to remember, I mean, this guy, Dr. Healer, really believes in his therapy. I mean, he's written books. He is really a renowned, world famous doctor. This therapy has been proven to work, but nobody has ever gotten inside the clinic and saw what he's doing. And we don't know why all these social workers that look up to him keep disappearing, and I mean, and so, Nikki, our blonde, I mean, she's a blonde actress. She's the one that kind of starts saying what's going on here, and gets Joe to look into these things. So, I mean, that's why I said we're getting a look into how this therapy really works. And like I said, we'll find out, I mean, there's a lot of success stories that he has really helped a lot of people, but now
Okay, I have to jump in here. Okay,
I just told my son, I said, we're watching that movie.
I am chomping at the bit.
Oh
Okay?
my goodness.
First of all,
Oh.
the first scene in the clip,
Oh my gosh.
scene,
That got
that's
me.
the giveaway. That's the giveaway to the whole movie. The first scene in the clip, the doctor is talking to a homeless guy. That tells you everything you need to know. Why is he choosing homeless people to experiment on?
No, he's not experimenting. You got to remember, Dr. Healer believes in this therapy.
Well, he does believe, yes, but he's choosing people.
Published books. He truly believes, and he's got documented people that have gone through this.
I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that. What I'm saying is his therapies work, his treatments work to a point, but what you now see when you get inside the facility is how he's doing the deeds.
Yeah, but
these people are disappearing. They're becoming disposable. We talked about it. Disposable people.
The social workers, not the homeless people. He is curing the homeless people and turning them into brilliant, successful people. Mm-hmm. And because of this,
but at what cost?
Have a hidden talent.
But the question will always become, at what cost?
Well, nobody ever knew that this was going on.
That you made my point. There you go. And I said it at the beginning. Unscrupulous doctors, reality versus fantasy. Well, not everything that you see that appears to look real is real.
Exactly.
It's the illusion of reality.
Exactly.
But the film is mirroring real life.
Right.
Exactly.
It's art imitating life, life imitating art. It's life and art, Andrea, holding a mirror up to each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
What is your take on this? Where do you, forget that you're the producer for a minute, as a film goer, as a film watcher, can you watch this movie objectively and say, we did good here, we messed up over here, If I had to do over again, I would try maybe something. Where is your head go when you watch a film like this?
There's always a little bit, like I said, there's always a little bit more you wanted to do. I'm hoping that this does well enough that we can do different sequels and even prequels.
Yeah.
There's so many interesting characters, and from Jeremy Ashley's, backstory to even, some of the social workers' backstory. And then we have Dr. Hugh, when he was younger, when his mother was in the clinic, when he, kills that woman, finding, when they're giving her shock therapy.
Yep.
Little spoiler there. And that's it. And then when he's older, then we see what else he does to the doctor when he gets his revenge. And that's when he realizes, I don't want to give it away, but that's when he finds that doctor and what he does to that doctor, that's what he feels cured him. That's why he keeps,
right.
That's why he feels that's going to help homeless people. I mean, that's how absurd it is to think that, like, well, I mean, how many years ago did we think shock therapy and lobotomies were going to help people?
Well, I mean, yeah, and I got news for you. Look, let's not throw everything in. Let's not throw the baby away with the bathwater. For some people, again, it's like anything else. Some people actually benefited from lobotomies and shock therapy, and you can't look. Lobotomy is a pretty rough way to go. It's based on, sorry folks, but it's a fucking ice pick up your nose and they scramble your brains around. But it worked for some people. It's the fire versus fire with fire theory. You take somebody with a messed up brain and messed it up and you'll make it okay. And it worked in a lot of cases. It's not, again, Andrea, it's not the preferred method that, for healing the mind.
That's what we're saying. This guy has been doing this therapy. He's got 2 books. He's been published. He's a world-renowned doctor. He's been doing this therapy, and it works. He's got lots and lots of success stories, but nobody knew how he was doing it because
we get that when we pull the film pulls back the third wall.
Yeah.
And so now we get a peek inside, it's like peeling the layers of the onion back,
Exactly. Yeah.
So we get to see, what's happening there. Amelia, did you see the film yet? I know you saw the trailer. Did you see the film yet?
I just saw the trailer and I was just so intrigued that I told my son, I said, we have to watch this movie now. That's going to be on our, we'll probably watch it.
After the show tonight, I want you to watch this film.
Absolutely. We're watching it after.
And then be honest with me and tell me, because I watched this film, but when I watch a film, I'm always asked to offer my opinion and write a critique on it, because that's what I do. So here's what I wrote. And I'm going to read you 2 very different reviews. I'll read mine. Okay. The film wants to push things to the extreme, but ends up holding things back. There seems to be a subplot happening in the same, which is far darker, but doesn't get dark enough. It doesn't get the attention it needs. If we had focused solely on the doctor's experiments, we could see that darker story come to light. The performances are not strong enough either. And I thought that the acting was solid acting, but I didn't think that they were emotionally invested enough. And what I wrote was, as it never feels as intense as the presented scenes. In other words, the scenes feel like, you can feel something coming, but then it kind of leaves you flat, like opening the champagne bottle and instead of going pop, it goes, it doesn't pop on you, it goes. But here, on the other hand, this is one of my favorite reviews, and I read this was somebody liked this movie. This movie is a relentless roller coaster of madness and manipulation, where the lines between the mentally ill and their abusers blur in a chilling dance of despair. It plunges deep into the haunting tragedies of the homeless, souls trapped in battles they can't win, even as those who claim to help them struggle against forces far darker than they ever imagined. Every twist shudders. Even every turn tightens, and the grip of homelessness. It's raw, brutal, and unforgettable. That's one of the better reviews I read. That's pretty solid. Somebody enjoyed that movie.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't put a damper on it. I just was like, if you're going to give me a horror suspense, something that's gruesome, I got only one way to do things: go big or go home, go balls to the walls or don't go. I'm one of those, I'm all in or I'm staying the fuck home. That's how I am.
Yeah.
When I watch a movie, if you're going to give me a horror suspense, you better go all the way with it. Otherwise, I'm going to be like a soda pop that's going to go instead of.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you can take look. My opinion is like everything. Everybody's got one. Everybody's got an opinion. But people listen to my opinion, as they do other people. But when you're talking about, I mean, it's a good film. I'm not going to, like I said, acting was solid acting. It wasn't as intense or emotionally driven as I like. And I watch a lot of movie, and we have a lot of actors and actresses on this show. I tell you a lot, believe me, a lot. And we have a lot of movie people, directors, producers. I've had entire casts of films on here. And the one thing that I listen for that emotional attachment to the movie. And I couldn't find it when I watched the film. They were actors doing a job. They got paid for their job, and they went home. Nobody that I saw seemed emotionally invested. That's me.
No, I don't know. I think I really liked working with Billy McInerney, Dr. Healer.
Hell of an actor. Guy's a hell of an actor.
Yeah, and he's been
around a long time.
Yeah, he was really. I think he really carried a lot. I mean, he was just did really. I think he really helped everybody bring the movie together.
Let me tell you something. I'll go as far as saying this, and you take this for what it's worth, because a lot of people listen to me.
Okay.
And a lot of people listen to this show. Amelia, how many we have now?
We have over 16 million subscribers.
16 million subscribers. Okay.
Congratulations.
She keeps them numbers. I got to ask her how many.
Yeah, he forgets all the time.
So people listen and they hear what I say, and so we have a solid audience.
Yeah.
When I tell somebody to go watch a movie, they generally go watch it, and then I get the emails. The movie was great. The movie sucked. Blah 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 blah. If you have the director on, tell them blah 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 for me. And we've had Amelia. Please tell me if I'm making any of this up.
No, you're not making any of this up. He received so many emails.
Word of this, Andrea. I'm straight up with you, kid.
I'm actually hoping we get enough of a review and good enough that we can get to do a bigger movie next time. Because
I got news for you. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna give you a heads up. Okay, I'm gonna give you a heads up. When I saw the film, I sat down for I think the third time to watch it.
All right.
It's funny that you said prequel because I already have a story in my head for the prequel. I even wrote a treatment for it. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I do. I have a treatment for it.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you guys don't know what a treatment is, Google it. Google. It's basically an outline of what I think should happen. Anyway, long story short, a solid, decent film in my opinion. It left me a little emotionally flat. I was waiting for that pounding moment, that jump from my seat moment. I didn't get that.
But I think everybody still wants to know what happened to these people. Who are these people?
Well, and that's the thing, and you never answered the question, though.
Yeah.
And that's part of the problem. So many questions that are unanswered. You almost have to do a part 2.
Yeah, I think so.
To answer those questions.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
You know.
I would start with
tell your governing board. Mad Dog says that we got to do it too. Part 2 has to happen because there's too much shit left unanswered here.
Yeah.
Because I want you to come back on the show and say, hey, look, Healing Towers Part 2 is coming up on Amazon Prime.
Dr. Healer, the start of Dr. Healer or something like that would be great. How he got his start, how he became.
Oh, Amelia. Oh, we got to work on this treatment together, babe. Let me do this, Andrea, real quick. I want to hit a commercial spot. You might want to close your eyes or put your hands.
Yeah,
over
really.
your
You don't
ears.
watch this one.
It's an adult commercial, so here you go.
Do you have sweaty balls or volleyball netty balls? It's time to make them ready balls. The Manscaped.com Lawnmower 3.0 will do the job and clean your knob with its patented no-nick head, so your head will function as desired. Enter promo code Wrestling Future for a generous 20% discount. That's enter Wrestling Future for a 20% discount. Manscaped.com and Wrestling with the Future, going balls to the walls with Manscaped.com and the Lawnmower 3.0. Your balls will thank you, and so will we.
It's What's the Buzz podcast. I am the Mad Dog. This is WWTF and WTBR Radio 88.7 on the broadband radio system around the world, broadcasting live in 32 countries. We are translated into 27 languages around the globe. And tonight's guest is Andrea Leonelli, the producer of Healing Towers. Andrea, when last we left off, you were watching a naked man shave himself. Let's talk. I want to give a little caveat because we're going to get into a serious conversation. If there are children watching, please take them out of the room. If you are under the age of 18, you may not want to listen or watch the rest of this. We are going to get into some adult conversation. There will be conversation of a graphic sexual nature to take place as we talk about Andrea's background and the trials and tribulations of her upbringing and how she took all of that bad stuff and made a good start for herself on her own terms. Andrea, let's talk about your childhood. You and I had a brief, and I mean brief, conversation. You sent me a link. I did not look at it. I don't do that. I do not speak to my guests before they come on the show. So everything you and I are talking about is going to happen real time as it's happening.
Okay.
You are described yourself as a former supermodel. Again, I correct you. I'm the only supermodel in this room.
I'm
you
sorry.
are film producer. Healing Towers is the film. You are a survivor of sexual and physical abuse and an incest survivor. You're a product of a dysfunctional upbringing that you credit with your resilience and your strong will. If nothing else makes you strong, surviving that shit will. Talk to me. Let's go back to the beginning. Who is Andrea Leonelli and where does your story start?
Okay, let's start back. I was raised in Cleveland, Ohio, and I would say that I did not come from a very well-to-do family. And people can't believe this, but my mother sold me to my grandfather because, yes, because my father was basically a passed out drunk on the couch and didn't provide for our family. This is not the most, and this is not that unusual. I mean, my daughter just goes livid over shit like this, but I go, there's a lot of women that need to be materialistic. And I mean, and she's like, what? And I said, they do this so they can pay the bills. They do this so they can get food on the table for their children. And doesn't make what happened to me right. But somehow inside of me, I mean, I was taught, and people don't understand this, and I said this, and I'll say it again. I mean, I truly believe people don't understand that incest survivors, it's not just the rape that happens to us for years and years. It's what we're taught as children. We're taught by the pedophile that this is special love. And our instincts are yelling out to us that this doesn't feel right. This makes me feel bad about myself. But yet my parent and my grandparent tell me that I'm wrong, that they're right. And we're taught to believe that our parents are right. And we're supposed to listen to our parents and our grandparents. So until I got old enough to really say, this does not make sense to me. This does not make sense to me. But you still have to bury the secret. And this is the problem with incest survivors. A lot of us end up at the end of a rope. I ended up sticking needles in my arms to keep the secret because I still so badly wanted my mother's and my grandfather's love. This is what children do. We're children. I was 9 years old when this started happening. We're children. We so desperately want our parents' love. I mean, I spent years when I lived in New York, I spent years in therapy just trying to figure out how I could get my mother's love. Well, you can't from a person like that. And that's hard for the little child inside to understand. That's why I said, I went to the Carol Horney Clinic, which was in Manhattan back in the 80s, and I go, and they addressed the sexual issue. But I mean, it's taken me decades to understand what that little girl, what she went through looking for love in all the wrong places. And really finding that the love or the strength that's inside of me and standing up for myself is the strongest love possible.
One of the things that I heard there is a confirmation and validation of what I said at the beginning of the show. 99.9% of all these issues start at home.
At home.
They all start at home. Incest, physical and sexual abuse, emotional abuse. There's nothing worse for a kid than to screw with their head and their heart. Because kids, all they think with their heart and their head. In fact, I'll say almost 100% of kids don't even think with their head. They think with their heart.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
Amelia, you and Andrea have a little something in common in this regard. Why don't you and Andrea have a little conversation? I'm gonna sit back on this one here. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I was molested by one of my mom's uncles for years since I was a little girl, and he would say that if I told, as you know, that he would hurt me, he would hurt my mom. It was my fault because I deserved it or I wanted it, things like that. And also by one of my cousins, it was a female cousin. And same thing, that every time she would come from California, it's because it's because I wanted it from her, and she was a lot older, and of course I was scared. I didn't know what to say or do, and I was little. I mean, what could I say? I was manipulated. They were bigger than me, and what could I do? And when they passed away, get this, they both ended up being blind before they passed away.
Wow.
That was their sentence.
The worst thing you could ever say to me, you had it coming. That's the worst thing I could ever hear from an abuser. They had it coming. You say that to me, somebody's going to bury you. They're going to fucking dig a hole and bury you. You may not be dead yet, but you're going down. Okay? Here's the problem. Most people who do things like that they have deeper issues than just sexual frustration. Their issues go deep and dark, and they have to be psychologically roto-rooted. You got to get into that head, and you got to pull all kinds of shit out. Because when you're talking about a male and female relative, both equally sexually abusing you, which tells you it's not just the male issue.
Right.
It's clearly a female issue as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the way families deal with it just boggles my mind. Don't talk about it. Ignore it. It'll go away. No, it won't.
It won't go away.
It's going. If you ignore it, it's going to build and fester. It's going to become a bigger problem if you ignore it. Because while you're not looking, Uncle Harry's out there piddling with somebody else.
Right.
And it becomes a problem. And then it becomes a family problem and a societal problem. And then it becomes my problem. Mm-hmm. And you don't want it to be my fucking problem.
Well, I think they've also schools have started to recognize a change in child's behaviors.
Yes.
And I have a picture of when I was in third grade and when I was in fourth grade. In third grade, I looked like this, like I do today. And in fourth grade, my fourth grade school picture, I'm like demure. I've got my dress over my knees, and I'm all crouched in, and I'm looking like this little demure little victim. And nobody recognized, like, what happened to Andrea? Why did she change what happened to her over the summer? Why did she change from this bright, outgoing girl?
Happy girl,
and
yeah.
We need to be able to recognize these behaviors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really.
Andrea, who was it in your family that you confided in first, that you trusted with your story?
Oh, no. That's not how it happened. I was
interesting. So there was no one in your family you could confide in?
No. What I did, I remember I was sitting outside the back porch, and it was time for my grandfather to take me down the basement again. And I just knew I didn't want to go. And I told my brother, and I said, you can't let him take me down and he could see that I was just shaking. I said, you can't let him take me down the basement. He just saw I was shaking. He stood up to my grandfather. My grandfather picked up a baseball bat and chased him around the backyard, and my brother was fast and jumped over the fence and ran out. I never told it. In fact, I never told my brother this. But and then my grandfather turned around and said, oh, that kid is such a bad kid. He used the F word, and he made it look. My brother had done something wrong. Mm. But yet it took the focus. And everybody was looking at my grandfather now, and it took put the focus on him, so he couldn't go and sneak me off anymore.
Yeah.
So I blew that cover, but it just, that's why I said I did tell, I said, you can't let him take me down the basement again, and that's all, but yet there were still so many secrets that I was trying to keep, because I wanted to look like a normal person. I wanted to be a normal life. I wanted to have friends. I didn't want to have to talk about this. But I will tell you, I did speak out at an Al-Anon meeting years ago, and when I broke the silence, I had people hanging on me, crying, thanking me for breaking the silence. So how
long did that go on before you finally turned to self-medication?
Well, the incest went on for about 3 years, but then by the time I was 13, I found heroin, and I was a heroin addict for 13.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll just segue into that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, so it's been. I definitely have been a product of saying, mental health is, you just don't, I think the incest really caused a lot of mental health issues, and I had to self-medicate.
It does.
It does.
And one of the reasons why, before Amelia joined me on the show, I had a psychologist on, Dr. Michael Anestis, and we talked about one of the problems with incest survivors is that these are people that you love, that you grow up with, they're family members.
You're supposed to trust them. Yeah.
And exactly. And the one thing, especially a young person never wants to do is be responsible, for betraying their elder, especially if you're like an Italian, Italian families, and I can't speak about other families, but Italian families are very cloistered. When it stays in the family, it doesn't go beyond those walls. That's good and bad in some regard.
Yeah.
The negativity of it is that you can't get the help you need because nobody outside your house knows what's going on.
Right.
That's the negative aspect of it. So for you, it was your brother that's he interjected himself. So it was your brother that stood up.
He didn't know why. At least he stood up. Yeah.
Right, but so how long you were 2 years as an addict, the heroin, and were you a functioning addict?
I did it for 13 years, but who's?
Oh, you were Oh shit. Okay, 13 years as an addict. So you were clearly a functioning addict.
I was good at it. I was good at it. But again, it was the it was the 70s in Cleveland. It was the Italian mafia was blowing up the Irish mafia.
Sure.
You remember those good old days, yeah?
Oh yeah.
And and I tell people, I go, I was a pretty little girl, and drug dealers gave me drugs. That's how it all got started. And gave me drugs for free,
Right.
And I actually ended up becoming helping them deal some of the drugs. Was that
Right.
nice? And actually got busted with them all for.
Did you ever turn to prostitution?
No, I did become a convicted felon for drug dealing though. So I did more of that.
So you have a record for trafficking drugs.
I was a juvenile, so as long as.
Oh yeah. So
As long as I didn't.
Has that been expunged?
Yeah, it's been expunged now.
Okay. Go ahead, Amelia. Questions?
No, I mean it's difficult when you go through something like that. You'll turn to different things. And me, I turned into a real bad depression. I was a loner. I didn't want to be around anybody. But luckily, I didn't know what to do, what to say. I turned to music, and I turned to just being by myself. I didn't want to be around anybody.
Then she latched on to me, and I can't get rid of it. I'm trying to invoke a little levity here. This is a pretty heavy subject.
Did you, like, when you had your daughter, and like when I had my son and my daughter, did you just keep so control much over them that you didn't want to let them go outside by themselves, or you just wanted to keep the closest eye you could, not let anybody around them or your daughter?
You want to talk about this one, Angelo? When my daughter was 2.5, I was in a car accident. My husband was killed.
Oh no!
And I was left a quadriplegic. So I raised my daughter at 2.5, from 2.5 till now. Yeah. Well, she's 31, so she's an amazing woman.
She is remarkable. I saw a video. The video, your Mother's Day video to your daughter, was such a touching video. What inspired that? Talk to me about that video. I trolled you a little bit, so that's the creepy aspect.
Oh, the one where she wishes her daughter a happy birthday and how she talks about love.
Oh, that was for her birthday.
Yes.
There's very few moments in life where you really get to tell someone how much you love them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, and I really, truly would never want to wish her harm. And, but yet she's had some hard lessons in life too. And, I've had to, I guess, never give up on her. And I really feel that if I looked at all my best friends, we all have like, whatever, 5 or 10 of them, really best friends. And all of us would never give up on our children. We understand that we're here to help them through those lessons. And life is all about lessons. And
that's what parenting is all about. Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. And there's been, and people go, God, you've had some horrible things happen in life. And I go, I've had some amazing lessons too. Amazing lessons. And I'm, and I really feel that lessons help us expand our consciousness versus people that just want to blame someone else. They just kind of get hardened. You look at the people that just get hardened by life. And I go, you have to forgive people. You have to let them be them. It's really important. That and sometimes we have to let our kids also fall down. But she's always risen up, and I probably
forgiveness is divine. It most certainly is. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Andrea, I will love to have you back if you can make time for us. We have to. We're at the 90-minute mark. We're going to have to say goodnight to you. I would love to have you back. And in fact, you know what? Amelia, why don't we plan on, while we have Andrea here, why don't we plan on having you back in September?
Oh, that's my birthday.
Good. We'll have you on for your birthday. Terrific. Good. What day in September?
I'm September 16th.
All right, Amelia, let me look at the calendar here. I'm going to see.
Do not have her back on the 16th.
If that's on a show day, her ass is coming here.
No, she's not.
Guess what? She is. Okay, now watch.
No, don't do that to her.
No, it's a Saturday. Okay. All right, listen. You got a reprieve on that one. It's a Saturday.
Okay.
But I'll bring you back on the 15th or 16th, okay?
Okay.
I'll bring you that Monday or Tuesday. We'll celebrate your birthday. Okay. To put that down tentatively, Andrea Leonelli coming back in September.
Okay.
If I have to, I'll drag her ass here. I'll get her here somehow. Andrea, plug it away. You got stuff to plug. Let's do it.
Hey, this is Andrea Leonelli. I'm the producer of Healing Towers. Please watch my movie, and I look forward to being back on your show, Angelo. Thank you so much.
I am honored to have you here. I say I am a nice guy. I'm not the pain in the ass on the phone. It's like, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to talk to you. That's not what I do. Amelia will tell you, I don't really talk to anybody. She actually does all the screening. She does all the talking. I should have just gave you Amelia's number. So
I know, right?
Talk to her. She'll talk your ear off. Andrea, thank you for being here. You're always a welcome guest. Amelia.
Absolutely. Very welcome.
What do you got coming up, Emil?
We got open forum on next week on Monday and Tuesday.
I got news for you. We got 6 shows of open forum coming up. Yep.
See,
we got some humdingers. Oh, man. We got some humdingers coming up. Yes, we do.
Goodness. He changes stuff on me all the time. Can you believe it?
Oh, of course. Can you believe it? Yeah, of course you can believe it. I do that to people. I fuck with them
all the time.
Listen, everybody, you know how it is here. You know, we have fun, but at the end of the day, you know, we're all God's little kids, hanging out and misbehaving and then rebehaving, and we try to be good boys and girls.
He keeps me busy.
Till we see you again, God bless you. We hope to see you. We always hope to see you. Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, but if the creek does rise and we're not able to see you, just carry on without us and remember the words of the Mad Dog and the Pit Bull. Be kind to each other. For Andrea Leonelli, for Amelia, the Pit Bull Chapman, I am the Mad Dog, Angelo DeCipio. This is America's Podcast. What's the buzz? Take care, folks. God bless and good night.